In this video, I'm gonna show you two quadratic investigations, and what we're gonna do is graph y equals x squared, and then we're gonna graph y equals negative x squared, and then we're gonna go through some questions that I have about the shape of the graph, the lowest point, and just different properties on the picture. But first, let's get our picture, and then we will be able to answer our questions. And so what I'm gonna start with for y equals x squared is plugging in numbers for x. So substitute in for your x. -4. So I want -4 squared, which is going to be -4 times -4, or 16. And then I'm going to substitute in -3 for my x squared, so plugging in that number, and I'm going to get 9. And then I'll substitute in -2 for my x and square it, and I'll get +4, because -2 times -2 is 4. And then -1 squared, 1 times 1 is 1, even if they're both negative. 0 squared is 0. 1 squared is 1. 2 squared, 2 times 2. 3 squared, and +4 squared. And now what I'm going to do is plot these points, these coordinate pairs, on my grid. So -4 on my x-axis, and then I'm going to go up to 16. And then -3 at 9. And then -2 to 4. -1, 1. 0, 0. 1, 1. 2, 4. 3, 9. And 4, 16. And what you'll see is this shape form. It's called a parabola. And this is known as the parent function of your x squared graph. And so what we're going to do is talk about these questions that we have over here about this picture. And it says, what does the graph, what does the shape look like? And this shape is called a U shape, but it has a name. It's called a parabola. And I'm trying to think anything else I want to specify about that. The lowest point of this parabola is 0, 0. That's where the bottom is. And from the vertex, which is your lowest point here, can you find a pattern to the placement of the points in the parabola? Meaning, when you moved right or left, how many did you go up? So we went right 1, up 1. We went right 2, up 4. We went right 3, up 9. And then right 4, up 16. So do you notice that your number got squared when you went up? And how about when you moved left or right 2? Well, I actually wrote them all down here, so I'm just going to say here. This one is here, and then this one is here. Why do you think that is? Well, if we have the function y equals x squared, what we're doing is we're inputting a number, and the output is the square. So when you input 1, you get out 1. When you input 2, you get out 4, just like we did over here. When you input 3, you get out 9. 4, you get out 16. And then 5, if you input 5, 5 squared would get you 25. And so this is the pattern of squares. Okay, now I'm going to graph the second one, and then we'll answer these two questions here. So opposite of x squared, meaning all of these numbers that we squared originally will now be opposite sign. So what this looks like when you type it in your calculator, make sure that you use parentheses, that's important. Opposite of -4 squared. Well, we did -4 squared up here and we got 16, but opposite of that is -16. So it's like we have 3 negative signs, because -3 times -3 for this piece, which is 9, and then take the opposite of that, you get -9. Opposite of -2 squared is -4. Opposite of -1 squared -1 times -1 is +1, and then times this opposite sign, we get -1. Well, 0 doesn't have a positive or negative, so just 0. Opposite of 1 squared. Here now we have only one negative sign. Opposite of 2 squared, 2 times 2 is 4. Take the opposite of that. And then opposite of 3 squared. You got to address your power before you subtract. So PEMDAS, exponents come before the subtract sign in the front. So opposite of 9 and then opposite of 4. So -16. So what my picture is going to be is just slightly different. 4, but down 16 this time. I think this is it. And then 3, -3, -9. And -2, -4. -1, -1. 0, 0. 1, -1. 2, -4. 3, -9. And 4, -16. Oops, I kind of missed that point just a hair. Okay, so what is different about this graph from the first one? Well, it's upside down. And so what about the pattern for plotting the points? The pattern is the same, except this time you just go down. So go down instead of going up. So right 1, down 1. Right 2, down 4. So still squares. Right 3, down a square, 9. Right 4, down 16. So 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. But because you had a negative sign, your parabola is going to open downward instead of up.